Yeah. 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 Mystic Matt turning fives to stacks. Harden King bets rolling like tracks. Doubters gonna hate, but the cheddar's fat. UFC nights turning pennies to racks. Spread too wide, Vegas holding the breath. Pots of parlays betting like nothing left. Pull the underdog moves like a chess grandmaster. Break the bank, they'll respect you faster. Cheddar change, mystic rearrange. Dollar bills from change, bets ain't strange. Critics might scoff, they don't know the range. Mystic Matt cashing in, pocket feels strange. $5, $10, pocket rocket. Fight night knowledge, stacking ticket. Vegas odds shaking, they can pick it. Mystic Matt, every win a ticket. Cash coming in, steady river flow. Count it out, often doubters laying low. Parlay stacked, high pro, gamma show. Mystic's foresight, bets overflow. Cheddar change, mystic rearrange. Dollar bills from change, bets ain't strange. Critics might scoff, they don't know the range. Mystic Matt cashing in, pocket feels strange.
Well, got the thing on there. What am I doing? What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Change to Cheddar right here on the Golden Octagon. So quick little story before we get started. Hit up D Rose, maybe like 2-3 o'clock. I was like, hey, I didn't ask you Wednesday. Like, we just planned out the live viewing for Saturday. Do you want to do Change to Cheddar later? And I didn't hear from him. So as you see in the thumbnail, I didn't have the thing ready. Well, there D Rose is. Kind of ruined the surprise in the title. Didn't have the cheese bowl ready, but D Rose is here. He made it. He hit me up like 15 minutes ago. It was like, yeah, I thought we were just rolling with it. So shout out D Rose for coming in here, making the short notice lace replacement. With the shiny head, look at it, like just looking clean as ever, channeling his inner Josh Van, short notice. What's going on, D Rose? How you doing, brother?
Yeah, man. It's a given on any pay-per-view Friday, man. We gonna rock with Change the Cheddar, coming through. So yeah, every pay-per-view you can expect me to be here. The fight night cards. Not gonna lie, I be swinging and missing on a lot of them, so I ain't trying to give you some of those. But the pay-per-views, we be making some money, man. So yeah, we gonna keep rocking. Appreciate the Josh Banger compliment. Wish I could be as dope as him, but yeah, nonetheless, we're here.
Hell yeah. So with that being said, if you don't know how the hell this works, I have the official weigh-in photos pulled up from this morning, paired with the ceremonial face-offs all in one photo for every single fight on the card, prelims all the way up to main. We're going to go through those, give you our last minute picks and predictions on those, let you know if anything stands out as something that maybe you should bet on, something that's parlayable. And then once we get through those, we are going to get to the cheese wheel, because the Rose is here, cooked up the cheese wheel. We spin it, whatever it lands on, we have to give you a bet for that. And then at the end of the show, I have not one, not two, not three, but 4 parlays cooked up for you guys. I have 2 $10 parlays and 2 $5 parlays, one of which is what I like to call the pay-per-view parlay. It's $10 to win a little bit more than $100 all on the prelims, hoping that we can pay for this pay-per-view. I know a lot of y'all already don't pay for it, but I do. So. But before we do all that, let's get in the chat real quick. D Rose, chat's popping tonight. We got Antoine in here. What's going on, brother? We got Couch High Guy, local to the area here. We got Austin. We got Tommy Pershin here. What's going on, brother? How you doing? We got way too geeked up. Already locked in a parlay. Can't wait to do one with y'all. Appreciate it, brother. We got Antoine. Let's get paid it, dude. We locked in for real.
You're
Let's
locked
go.
in, baby.
What did Antoine say? I remember. Oh, Jesus Christ! I should start reading this before I just click on.
Proofread.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. D Rose got the Friday goat. D Rose hit the wax machine. Well, why do you think that's
That's
the
wild.
case, D Rose? You're so busy you probably can't do as much research. That's a good question. Why can't D Rose make Friday change the cheddars even on fight night cards? That's a good question. I'll let him answer that.
Yeah, well, sometimes work. I do a lot of times end up getting held up. You know, my schedule typically rotates. I'll close some weekends. I'll leave early on others, and but there are times where I had to end up staying. Like last Friday, good thing I would have been on because I ended up being at the dealership literally until 10 o'clock. So
Yeah.
there are times where I have been late and stuff like that. Plus, I got the kids and stuff like that. So where I work a lot, try to spend enough time with them when I can. So, it's a little bit of a balance thing, man. You need a little bit of balance in your life.
Yeah, D Rose out there slinging them keys. We got Jake, dude. Jake's my guy, dude. Jake was my roommate in the Navy, dude, and just that man. Just a good guy. I opened the 2025 box that I got rinse. Yeah, mine was pretty bad too. If you didn't see it, go check it out. Can't leave your coworkers sometimes. I wish I could open hobby. I can only afford singles. Well, that's your smartest route, man. Not gonna lie, it's a lot cheaper than spending a hobby box and getting 2 autographs of 2 fighters that you don't want. So, what's the hardest car to sell in dealership, and what's the easiest car?
I mean, honestly, like mostly any kind of like trucks, just because like some people can come in and people that like really, really want them. Like this is the tricky thing as a salesperson. You will have somebody come in who is like dying to get this car and they have no qualifications and means of being able to get this car. But of course they'll say, I'll take any payment you give me. Well, too bad we can't get you approved. And then the people that are very qualified to get approved, they like the hassle and stuff like that. And sometimes they like for you to try to, you need to beg me to buy this and stuff like that. So,
sounds like my dad,
it's
dude.
A balance with the trucks because the truck customers are either one, somebody who can't afford it, or two, they're hardballers and try to beg them for their business. So it gets a little rough, but I'd say probably the easiest, something like honestly like a Kia K4. Brand new. Get you one.
So,
probably
fucking somebody coming in that's coming to buy a new car that cannot afford a new car.
you just need any basic transportation. Cars like 21, 22 grand. Probably get you a little loan on there. Get you like $300-400 a month. All the warranty in the world. So those are probably the easiest for me, especially if you're just looking for basic transportation.
All right. Well, that's some insight on how D Rose is slinging Kias on the inside. Yep. But let's get into the fight picks, D Rose. So we did have one fight fall off this morning before we get started. It was the McVeigh versus Ewert fight. Ewert showed up to weigh in 10 pounds over, and they're like, no, you're not even going to weigh in, and also you're cut from the UFC. So Ewert didn't even get to fight, already cut from the UFC. McVeigh did weigh in and gets his show money. So that fight is off. So the first fight of the night is now Janice taking on what is his name? Goonies. What is his name? Goonies Alvin Hines. Odds for this fight are minus 470 for Janice, as Alvin Hines is plus 360, the underdog. Over under here is 1.5. The over is minus 120. The under is minus 110. Dude, if I'm gonna be honest, I am going Jonathan Janice to knock out Alvin Hines. I'm going to go second round because, most of these dudes are tough enough to last a round. And, the other guy maybe takes his a little bit it takes a little bit of time. What if he does get a takedown? Like, that's my one thing. So I'm gonna go round 2 knockout for Janice here. But I am kind of worried. Like, what if this dude's maybe like too tough to like knock out? And he just is just able to last all 3. So I'm kind of worried about that. Not gonna lie, but I'm gonna go Janice round 2 knockout because man, this guy gets hit. Which way you going, man?
Yeah, I'm still with you there. I think the face-off still made me honestly even more confident in Janice to be able to get the job done. I agree as well. I think round 2 KO for Janice, but I will say, as you said, Alvin Hines, he has shown although he is very quirky to say the least. From everything that I've seen, the dude's tough as all get out. So
everyone keeps talking about his head kick. I'm like, dude, he is not head kicking Janice, dude. Calm down.
Yeah, no, he's not. I mean, he can throw a head kick, cool, but yeah, I saw on the one highlight he kept like spamming it on that one guy, and it's like, okay, cool, but yeah, you're also fighting a garbage truck driver as well. So like you're not fighting a well qualified kickboxer like John Janice. So yeah, I think round 2 KO. I got round 2 for this fight to start round 2 in a bet or 2 as well. So yeah, I do think at least the second round starts.
All right. With that being said, me and D-Rose both on what? Janice round 2 knockout?
Yep.
All right. Anton Watson, how do you guys feel about Alvin Hines regional? I mean, it's exactly what you called it, regional competition. I don't really think much about it. No one, I don't think any one of those dudes going to be in the UFC anytime soon. So moving on to the next fight, we got Nico Price taking on Jacoby Smith, the hybrid. Nico Price is plus 1,100, the underdog. Jacoby Smith is minus 2,100. Over under here is 1.5. The over is plus 200. The under is minus 270. Yeah, this is our fisting of the week, if you will, D Rose. Jacoby Smith has power, but he is a like NCAA couple-time All-American champion, so we know he's going to go out here and just go for takedowns relentlessly. But he has power in his hands, and Nico Price gets taken down, comes in there all wrapped up, man. Ankle pads, knee pads, elbow pads, headband if he could, dude. Like he's trying to wrap everything up. But man, Nico Price is just old, but I know everyone and their mom is on Jacoby Smith round 1 knockout here, and I feel you. That's the way it should go. But D-Rose, how many times have we been like, yeah, round 1 knockout, and round 2 starts, and then the over 1.5 starts, and then we're like, well, dude, who paid Jacoby Smith to just come out here and just wrestle Nico Price all 3 rounds? Then the 3rd round starts, dude. So I'm not gonna lie, I am worried about what Uncle Weezy calls the steakhouse bet. Where Jacoby Smith lets all of his buddies know, hey, bet me by decision, because I'm just gonna go out here and just control this dude all 3 rounds, and they fucking meet up at the casino eating 72-ounce prime ribs, fucking popping bottles of champagne, dude. So I am kind of worried about that, not gonna lie. But with that being said, I'm gonna go Jacoby Smith early round 2 knockout over Nico Price. Jacoby Smith's minus 2,100, dude. What are we supposed to do here?
Damn. Yeah, it had a big old thing of thunder to strike through. I didn't know if it came through on the thing, but damn,
Nah,
caught me
I
off
didn't
guard there
hear
for a second. But yeah, no, honestly, it's crazy to see that the lines actually came down, because I think they said when he was up to minus 3,000, it was the highest spread in UFC history. I think I'd even mentioned that the other day. I was like, there's no way that's not the biggest spread that I've ever seen in a fight. Like, I don't know what Jacoby Smith has done to qualify for those odds, but I do think that he does get the job done. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I know you said he got round 2 to start, but yeah, I do think it's round 1 KO, man. And the only reason why is because for Nico Price, I know he's super tough. And then I think about the Robbie Lawler fight. where he literally just went in there and got absolutely roasted with like the first 2 or 3 punches. Jacoby Smith is capable of doing something similar to that. I would not be surprised if it's like an awkward, quirky KO, very similar to the Robbie Lawler one. So yeah, that's what's got me nervous about Nico Price being able to last throughout the first round against an explosive guy like Jacoby Smith.
Yeah, man. I feel you. Yeah, Nico Price did
Yeah, I
not
still got
sound
round
good
one.
on it. Did not sound good on embedded. I will give you that. We got Michael Perez in here. Yo, it's been a while, guys. Had to change my name on here. Formerly known as Ben Chode. Okay. Name cost me a job opportunity. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, man. Roy Val for the win. It wasn't meant to be, Ben Chode. It wasn't meant to be. And Nico has 7 kids. UFC aren't going to cut him because they love his family. I wonder if CTE feels like a bad hangover. Those odds are Francis versus Joseph Benavidez.
Swear to goodness, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's
man.
crazy. Like, again, I mean, I know Jacoby Smith is a beast, but I mean, come on, man, that's wild.
But I will point out that to start round 2 here is plus 130. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's not worth all the money in the world, but if you want to, maybe, turn like 5 into like 15, there's your shot. There's your shot. Anyway, yeah, Sam Alvey has like 6 kids. He was in here forever. All right. Next fight of the night, we got T-Rex, Terrence McKinney taking on Slava Claus. Slava Borchov. Over under here is a 1.5. The over is plus 180. The under is minus 238. T-Rex is the favorite at minus 155, while Slava is plus 130, the underdog. Man, T-Rex looked terrible on the scale this morning. Did you see him? Like, he was up there, like, inside the box of shame, like, fucking, like, shaking. And then once he made weight, he screamed real loud. And then this is what he looked like after he got out of the box. As where Slava Borchov is up there shredded, man. What kind of throws me off is, I don't know if you can see it in the picture, D-Rose, right below T-Rex's back. It's kind of like the OSP build, man. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? So that kind of throws me off, just a tad. But yeah, with that being said, I think me and you are split here. This is our first one that we are split on, T-Rex versus Slava. I went T-Rex, you went Slava. I could truly see this going either way. I just picked the under here, and I'm happy with it. The scary, not weight miss, but hard weight cut does make me have a little hesitancy as to betting T-Rex, because Slava's a lethal striker, and we've known T-Rex he either pretty much knocks you out, or he finishes you in the first round, or he also gets finished in the first round, or like early second round. So, man, it's tough here picking a side for me, truly. But I'm going to stick with my side. I'm going to go T-Rex. Let's go round the 1 submission. But betting wise, the under 1.5 for me, it's minus 238. So, yeah, D-Rose, passing it to you. What you got, brother?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Terrence McKinney. I didn't see much of the weigh-ins this morning, but I just saw like the face-offs and everything. And I just thought after the face-offs, I mean, even just looking at their arms alone, I mean, Slava Claus looks I'm not going to say a good deal bigger than him, but you can see that Slava Claus is a pretty dense dude. I do think that Terrence McKinney is going to come out and try to do some wrestling.
Maybe from the waist up. Maybe from the waist up, but definitely not from the waist down.
With 2 C's. Yeah, with 2 C's. Yeah, no, I still think Slava gets it done. Sneakily, I do like for this fight. I like for it to start round 2, and I think Slava Claus gets it done in round 2. Though I've never seen Terrence McKinney has made it to the second round. I don't think I've ever seen him make a third round in his life.
Against Sean Woodson, and then he got knocked out then.
Yeah, well, and it was Sean Woodson out of all people. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, point proven that, yeah, I think, for it to start round 2 should be solid. Slava Claus round 2 KO for me.
All right. We got Ryan Angry and Hair Matt. You sold me the Killer Grill out of 5 the other day. I appreciate it, man. You know, thanks for buying the card. Anyway, I think Slava gets him. Yeah, like I said, it could go either way for me. I'm going the under. D Rose is on the start round 2 and on Slava, yeah.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We've got Tracy Cortez taking on Viviane Aujo. Over under here is 2.5. The over is -720. The under is +450. Viviane Aujo is +190. The underdog. Tracy Cortez is -230. The favorite. Yeah, you see the weigh-ins and then you see the face-offs, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Rose. You know, Vivi's my girl, and I don't want to say I'm gonna pick flip, but goddamn, I am not betting Tracy Cortez. If I'm gonna be honest, Vivi 3 or decision right now is, let's see if I parlays on DK. Vivi 3 or decision is +255 right now. Her money line is +190, dude. That's not a bad shot because you just have. I did watch the Karina Silva fight 2 or 3 times this week. And dude, she's able to stuff all the shots from Karina Silva. And I do think that Karina Silva is like a more muscled up girl than Tracy. She doesn't really have the technique that Tracy has, but man, Vivi was just like shucking her off, like, get the fuck off me. And it's like, if that happens here, I think Tracy might be in trouble. I know a lot of people pointing out that her hands have gotten a lot better, pointing to the Rose fight, but I don't really think Rose has the power in her hands that Vivi has, and she'll throw body shots, dude. She's got powerful hooks, man. I'm worried about anyone betting Tracy this week, so I might just stay off this one total because you can't bet the over. I don't really want to bet Vivi too much, but with the price, dude, it's kind of worth taking a shot for me, but still going to lean Tracy Cortez via sketchy split decision. But yeah, this could go the Vivi way, and it wouldn't be the first time she ruined some people's bets because she did in her last fight, big time.
Yeah, no, I mean Vivi, she's definitely live. I don't think that she's like any type of. She's not going to be like pushed over by Tracy Cortez or anything like that. I still think Tracy Cortez gets it done by decision, but I definitely think it's going to be a close fight. Vivi's no chump, man. She's going to be there to fight. She's a dog. We've seen her drop in fights before and get right back up and get right back into the fight. She's like the Andrea Lee fight, she literally got head kicked, KO'd, woke back up, and then ended up winning the fight. So she's super tough. She's going to be in the fight. I just think Tracy Cortez at this point, just the quicker athlete of the two, better wrestler. And as you said, her hands have gotten a little bit better. So I can see her working some distance management too and kind of having Vivi maybe chasing around the octagon a little bit.
Yeah. I don't feel good about it, dude. I just don't think that Tracy Cortez should, I guess, be like damn near -250 favorite. I think this should be about a coin flip fight, if I'm going to be completely honest, because Vivi's got a little size advantage here. But let's move on to the next one. Well, we've got Hurricane Haidider Emil taking on Jose Delgado. Haidider Emil is +120. The underdog. Jose Delgado is -142. The favorite. Over under here is 2.5. The over +114. The under is -145. Yeah, this is probably going to be fight of the night, man. It's going to be a banger. Hurricane Haidider Emil comes out, shot out of a cannon, man, and he's going to throw about a 40 hook combination, dude. And if you're able to take that, good luck. But you think he's going to gas out? Guess what? He's not. He's going to be there all 3 rounds, throwing maybe a 30 hook combination at you in round 2, and in round 3 probably like a 20 hook combination, but he's still coming at you all 3 rounds. So I'm worried because earlier in the week I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take the under, no problem here. But now that I've done a little bit more research, dude, I don't know if either one of these guys are able to knock out the other one. And if one is, I think it's probably Haidider Emil. So I picked Haidider Emil earlier in the week. I'm sticking with my pick. I think if there is a finish, it does come from the Haidider Emil side, knocking out Jose Delgado. just because he's a little bit, I don't know, he it looks like to me that he's not as dense as Haidider Emil. His chin maybe doesn't look as strong. I'm just gonna put it like that. I would say Haidider Emil is more like the Filipino Drew Dober, a little bit older now, but experienced, got some denseness to him, as where Jose Delgado is still basically a kid, a little bit wiry, and I think he can be hurt. So I am going Haidider Emil. I'm gonna go Haidider Emil via decision, D Rose. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my pick. I picked Jose Delgado earlier in the week, and I'm gonna stick with that. I think I did by decision. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I think both guys are just gonna be too tough. For me personally, I think if it comes by finish, I think it's Jose Delgado. I think it's just because he's good with his footwork and setting up his shots at different angles and stuff like that, and he's pretty nasty in the clinch too. He's good at throwing he gets the guys in that tie clinch and throw good knee to the body and head. He gets ruthless, man. I just think Haidider Emil, he's got real good power. He's got power in his hands, but he's just got real good cardio, and he can really push the pace and just really put it on guys and just keep it up at a pace that they can't keep up with. I think he's capable of getting a finish, but I definitely think Jose Delgado is a guy who's a little bit more dangerous in that sense, but I'm still going to stick by decision because I am with you. I think this ends up being a fight of the night.
Fair enough. What's going on, Matty Mac? How you doing? And we got Michael Perez in here. A fight goes the distance for the safety parlay. Oh, man, that's gonna be a butthole pucker. that's gonna be a lemon hole, or that's gonna be a peach hole lemon, if you will.
We'll talk about the over. We'll talk about some overs here soon, and if I'm up, I'll just let you know now. This one's going to be it for me.
All right, moving on to the main event of the prelims. We got the Joker, Jack Hermanson, taking on Hobo Cop Gregory Rodriguez. This could be like comic book, the Joker versus the RoboCop. But we got Hobo Cop going to be a little bit taller. I think Jack Hermanson going to be a little bit longer, dude. Odds for the fight are Hobo Cop minus 225, the favorite. Jack Hermanson is plus 185. The underdog. Over under is 2.5. The over is minus 145. The under is plus 114. Yeah, I think me and you both picked Jack Hermanson earlier in the week, right? To just keep it at distance, be the quicker guy, jab up Hobo Cop, leg kick here and there, and just have Hobo Cop kind of chasing around Jack Hermanson, kind of going to look something like the Joe Pyfer fight. Do you think it goes the same way, or do you think anything changes?
I think it looks, for me personally, for me, nothing has changed. I'm sticking with Jack Hermanson. I think it looks a little bit like the Chris Curtis fight, if you ask me personally. I think I could see, Jack Hermanson just bouncing around on the outside. Chris Curtis ended up getting frustrated after the fight because he's like, he didn't stand and fight or whatever, but no, it's because you couldn't track him down. You weren't able to really track him down. He was able to jab you, kick you, and stay in range the whole fight and win just like that. So I think there's a very similar game plan here to where he could take advantage of with Hobo Cop. Plus, Hobo Cop's takedown defense isn't that great either. So I can even see Jack working in some takedowns as well. But I still think Jack Hermanson by decision is the way to go.
Fair enough. We got Ben Chode saying, maybe if you guys both agree on the type of finish but disagree on the winning side, you should both bet it so you guys share a parlay together. My brain's not working. D-Rose, what's he saying?
Like basically, if we think one fight or the other is going to be by a finish, we just bet the fight to go to a finish instead of a winner. If that makes sense.
Oh, so just the under instead?
Yeah, like the under, or how will the fight end by KO, TKO, or by submission? Any of those sorts.
Oh yeah.
Or like you said, the under two. Anything like that.
I got you. All right, moving on to the main card. First fight on the main card is Peyton Talbot taking on Felipe Lima. Another one me and D-Rose is split on. Peyton Talbot plus 145, the underdog, which is nuts after being a huge favorite against Hany Barcelos earlier in the year. Like, was it minus 1,800? Something like that. He was a huge favorite. Over under here is 2.5. The over is minus 238. The under is plus 180. I don't mind the over here because I do think Peyton Talbot wins via decision here. I don't hate the 3 or decision because Peyton Talbot usually comes on strong there in the 3rd round, man. Even in the Hany Barcelos fight, he was stuffing the takedowns, throwing flying knees, shit like that, trying to catch Hany Barcelos there in the 3rd. So for me, it's Peyton Talbot, 3 or decision. I know you're on the other side. Tell me why. Tell me why.
I'm sorry, I can't I just I'm trying not to, but his face is goofy. One, Peyton Talbot, and then I keep thinking that every single time I see somebody talk about him on the internet, they call him Frank Ocean's boyfriend. And I can't stop
Frank Ocean's boyfriend.
Yeah, they call him Frank Ocean's boyfriend.
During Gay Pride Month, this is Peyton Talbot's a lock, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. You're I can't help but think about that. But no, I still think that I'm still gonna stick with Lima by decision here. I still just don't think there's been enough time between Talbot's last fight to really work on that takedown defense like he got taken down a lot by Hany Barcelos. And I mean, if you look at Lima on the scale, I mean, dude, he looks good. He looks sharp. He looks jacked for the weight class. And yeah, I think he's got a lot of experience. And I think, his level of competition in the UFC right now, you could make the argument is better than Talbot. So, but I do think Talbot's super tough. It's not going to be easy to finish, but I think there's a good path to victory there for Lima. So I'm going to say by decision for Felipe Lima.
All right. So me and you kind of agree on the over here, but just split on the side. Lima probably going to grind it out. All right. Moving on to the next fight on the main card. We've got Renato Moicano taking on Benny D. Beneil Dariush. Odds for this fight, basically a coin flip. Beneil Dariush minus 102, Renato Moicano minus 118. Over under here is 2.5. The over is minus 105. The under is minus 125. And D-Rose, without this fight even happening, I can tell you who wins just by this line movement, because it always happens to me, man. Whenever I make a fight and then the odds get even better throughout the week, and I'm like, I'm not going to keep throwing money on here. So the close the CLV, closing line value, dude, it's getting worse and worse for me. So going the opposite way of what would be CLV. So I am sure that Renato Moicano is going to win this fight, dude, because earlier in the week he was like minus 140. He's all the way down to minus 118 now. Renato Moicano, I just think he does more damage on the feet. I do think he's the better striker, maybe not the more powerful striker, but also Benny D's just got a bad chin here. For me, it's moneyline Renato Moicano, definitely parlayable. Could knock Benny D out, as I said. His chin is a little questionable, but I think it probably goes 2 rounds Renato Moicano and then round 3 for Benny D. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I still think Renato gets the job done. I do think that he is the cleaner striker, as far as the combinations and stuff. I do think Benny's got the power on his side. Benny D does, but I do think that Renato gets it done. I think I said second round KO TKO the other day. I don't know. I'm kind of like getting in my head now about the way I think it goes, because I can kind of see this turn into like a little bit of a slow, tepid kickboxing match, or they just end up getting into a little bit of a scramble fest on the ground as well. So I got like those types of scenarios playing out in my head. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I have this fight to start the second round and a better two as well. So I do think at least the second round starts. So, but I think Renato still gets the job done. KO TKO, I'm not going to lie. The method of victory, I'm not going to bet the method of victory because, as you said, the line is minus 118 right now. That's good enough value right there to where you can put that in a parlay, or if you're willing, bet it straight up. That's a good enough line to play. Do not do method of victory because I think this fight could go all sorts of ways.
Yeah, man. Everything's a coin flip here. The over-unders 2.5. The over -105. The under -125. Benny D -102. Benil Derry. I'm sorry. Benny D -102. Hanato Moicano is -118. So everything's basically coin flip here. But me and D Rose both on Hanato Moicano money line. Moving on to the featured fight of the night, we have Raw Dog Brandon Royval taking on the fearless Josh Van. And yes, he is fearless. Showing up on short notice like D Rose here. But his last fight was 3 weeks ago against Bruno Silva, Bulldog. And although that was a good fight, good scrap, he called it a little sparring match for this fight. I just think it's too fast of a step up in competition, like without a solid training camp. Like, like if you just look at Josh Van's one loss in the UFC, it came to someone kind of the shape of Brandon Royval, the same style, but probably a lot less pressure striking, that Charles Johnson does. I think Brandon Royval is just going to put up the volume on Josh Van here, and I don't know if Josh Van is able to keep up. So I'm just going to go Brandon Royval to win 2 of the 3 rounds, and he wins this fight via decision. So Brandon Royval via decision for me as the dog. Odds for the fight +100. Brandon Royval, Josh Van -120. Over under is 2.5. The over -215. The under is +165. Which way are you going, D Rose?
Yeah, I still think Royval by decision is the way to go. I think Van is too tough to get finished, but I do think that
Charles Johnson fucking snoozed them of all people.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say too that Josh Van, he ended up getting hit by an uppercut that ended up putting him out, and Royval doesn't have the best of uppercuts, but he does have some nasty knees. He has some nasty step in knees. He'll
and just
use
weird shit, like fucking shit that you can't train for. It's like, dude, he just fucking threw a fucking share a bullet, fucking double back elbow. Like, what the
heck? Like he's wild. He's super wild and unpredictable. But just in particular, those shots up the middle, coming with the uppercut, a knee kind of coming from the same angle. It's a shot that Royval has landed plenty of times, and I wouldn't be surprised if he landed some. I had to catch myself there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Royval landed something like that and ended up putting out Josh Van. But I do think Josh Van is tough. Super, as I said, I'm a big fan of the guy. He's one of my favorite fighters. I just think it's too quick of a turnaround against a guy this high level. I think he's super tough. I think he's going to be in the fight. I think this one is going to also be in contention for fight of the night. But I think Royval still gets it done by decision.
Fair enough. Moving on to the co-main event, we've got Kai Don't Blink Car France taking on the Cannibal Alexandre Pantosia. Pantosia -238. The favorite, Kai Car France +195. The underdog. Over under here is 4.5. The over is -110. The under is -120. Yeah, D Rose. I don't know where Kai wins this fight, man. It's like Pantosia was able to withstand shots, maybe get knocked down, but not get knocked out from, prime Figgy. And, Kai might have the power, but I don't think he has the durability to take it back if it gets thrown back. So I know Pantosia has the durability. I don't think Kai has the durability here. And one thing that I know is not even close is the grappling, man. If Pantosia finds Kai's back, dude, this might be over. But I'm just going to go maybe the first 3 rounds are absolute, bangers back and forth. Both dudes just throwing with all their might. And then round 4 and 5, we see Pantosia get Kai down, find the back, and just hold on for those last 2 rounds. Win 3 of the 5, and we see Alexandre Pantosia win another fight via decision, man. Odds for the fight are, I don't know if I already said that. Yeah, I'm going Pantosia via decision. What about you, man?
Yeah, I just think For me, I'm going to stick with Kai. I'm going to stick by knockout. I want to go
George,
round.
hold on a second, Dariush. George, you're crazy.
Yeah, yeah, 100% crazy.
I'm sorry, man. Whoever you're betting that with, they are thankful for the donation. I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. My decision is tough. Maybe money line,
He's
whatever,
never even been to decision,
at
much,
all.
much less
Like
win the decision
in any of his fights, win or loss. Like none of his fights have ever been a decision. I don't think he's ever made it to the third round. Has he?
Yeah, against
I
Sean
don't think he's
Woodson.
ever made it to the third round. I know he hasn't in the UFC.
Against Sean
Maybe he
Woodson
did
on the
outside of it.
Contender Series. That's it.
Yeah. That Sean Woodson fight. That's it. So
And then got knocked out.
exactly. But yeah, I'm going to go Kai third round KO. I do think that Pantosia can get hit, and what is he 35, 36? No, he's 35. I believe he's 35, right? 34, 35.
If you want me to check, I will.
Yeah, I and I'm just curious, but no, I do think that we get to these points where we're so used to the champion winning that we can't see them lose, and then when they lose,
35. But Kai's 32, so let's not act like he's fucking 10 years younger.
no, but I would say as far as a guy who's more battle worn, you can make the argument that
I think Kai pulled out of the Manel Kopp fight a few months ago because he was having concussions and having to spend time in a dark room.
Yeah, well, that was like a year or two ago. Yeah, I think that was supposed to be on like that Sean Strickland and Izzy card. That's why Kai ended up taking so much time off from that time because, as you said, he was suffering from the concussion. So he took about a year off. But Pantosia has been busy and active and been in wars and taking a lot of damage over that time. I mean, Steve Erceg, Brandon Moreno, he didn't take too much damage in the Roy Ball fight, but. And then in the Kai Sakura fight, I mean, Kai Sakura landed a clean flush knee to the jaw, and he still kind of walked through it, So you just wonder when that damage is finally going to take its toll. And, I think somebody like Kai is a guy, coming in locked in can expose something like that with his power. So I want to stick with Kai. I want to go third round KO.
All right, moving on. Main event of the evening, we got Du Bronx, Charles Oliveira taking on Ilya the Matador Taporia, dude. How much do you have to love yourself to get your face tattooed on yourself in the middle of a tiger face, D-Rose? Man. Ilya Taporia is a confident fella, that's for sure. This fight for me, I just think Charles Oliveira is so disrespected here, just on the line. Ilya Taporia minus 425, the favorite. Charles Oliveira plus 330, the dog. Over unders 1.5 here. The over is minus 145. The under is plus 114. I also don't mind the fight to start round 2 here. I think that's an excellent play. Like Ilya really doesn't knock out anyone in the first round. Why does everyone think it's going to end like in the first round here? So, that being said, I just can't get over the size and the length, just the way Charles fights, just that Muay Thai stance, front kicks, if it gets close, hooks, knees to the body, dude, knees up top, dude, and Ely is not that tall. And if Charles, whips one of those head kicks up like Jai Herbert did, I think Charles follows up and probably finishes Ely. So truly think this could go either way. So pretty much just because of the odds, I am picking Charles Oliveira to win this fight. And I'm going to go Charles. Let's go third round knockout. Du Bronx. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I think it ends up being a fun fight for as long as it lasts. I think there's no way it goes a decision, and of course, as soon as I say that, it goes a decision. But yeah, I don't think there's any way it goes a decision either way. I think if Charles wins, though, I do think there's a chance that it goes to decision, just because I can see him use a little bit of his wrestling or whatnot. But I do think that Ilya by KO is the way to go. I just think that. He's a little bit more explosive. I'll say this. if Ilya was fighting Armin, I'd favor Ilya. Yeah. I'll say that. I think if Ilya was fighting Armin, I would favor Armin in that fight, just because I do think that he could expose the just the wrestling aspect. Just because I think Armin's a more natural, bigger 155er, where I think Charles Oliveira obviously is a bigger guy, but I don't think his wrestling is nearly as strong. And he does become a little bit confident on his feet from time to time, as we've seen in the wars with Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler. I mean, we've seen that, that 3-fight title run where he went through all those wars. And if he's willing to go in there and step into the fire with somebody like Taporia, I mean, he's going to put your lights out, man. I mean, it's just only a matter of time. So I do think that Ilya gets it done. I say second round KO. I think second round KO is the way to go.
Yeah, Charles told Ilya it's already written that he's the champion. Like, he was like, it's already written, the champion. He told his son. So basically, the story was he told his newborn daughter at first that he was going to bring home gold when she was first born. And then he brought home gold, had the championship for all those years, and he just now had a son not too long ago. And he told his son he was going to bring home gold. It's already written, D-Rose, through Bronx from the favelas. Shout out Ice Spice. Shout out Ice Spice. Shout out to Bronx. All right. So that is all of our picks, prelims all the way up to the main card. Yeah, few splits on it. Me and D-Rose are split on T-Rex versus Slava, Haidider Emil versus Jose Delgado, Peyton Talbot versus Diego Lima. No, not Diego Lima. Felipe Lima. Pantosia versus Kai, and Du Bronx versus Ilya. Man. Dude, I almost picked flip for the Tracy Cortez fight. Dude, it's like that one's scary. But when is WMMA not scary? When does it ever hurt to pick the dog in WMMA? It's probably always worth a shot. All right. Now let's get into the cheese wheel. I don't really have any bets ready for this. So I'm just gonna kind of go off the cuff, D-Rose. So you'll have to work with me if I take a minute trying to find one. We've got Antoine saying, looking ahead, what's y'all's favorite upcoming main event? I love Dricus Kamzat. Who are y'all favoring? Between Dricus and Kamzat, I would have to go Kamzat. I think D-Rose might be on Dricus, but that's just my guess.
I am on Dricus for that one. And yeah, I do think that's probably the one that I'm looking forward to the most. It's probably that fight.
All right, so
although that Robert Whitaker and Renier de Ruyter fight, that's another one that's coming up. That's probably number 2. I'd have to say that's a really exciting fight.
You mean you're not excited for Max versus DP?
Come on, man. Of course.
I know you hate that fight though. You're like, I don't want to see it.
I don't hate it. I've seen
that's
it.
That's how I feel about this fight. I just haven't seen it yet. I just don't want to see it because I like both fighters, dude. I don't want either one of them to lose in tomorrow's main event. Pico versus Evloev. That's what he's looking forward to as well. All right. So the cheese wheel, D-Rose. You want me to spin it first for you, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Let's go.
Well, all right. So D-Rose spinning the cheese wheel first. Our options are underdog, finish, prop, our 3 decision, over under, and a 3-leg parlay. So up first, D-Rose gets, looks like 3 or decision. Who are you taking, 3 or decision?
3 or decision. This is actually the one I wasn't prepared for, but I feel pretty confident in this one because we were already talking about it during the pod here. I do think Brandon Royval gets it done. I think he gets it done by decision. But hey, if you want to do round 3 or decision, it's plus 190. So it will add a little bit more to your value there, as where his money line is at plus 104 right now. So yeah, round 3 decision. I think Brandon Royval is a lock for me there.
All right. I should probably write this down. Best. Oh, man. All right. I'll spin it for myself. See what I get. Bum, ba, bum.
Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum. Oh, I want a prop.
The prop bet. What do I feel? What do I, dude? What I feel like I get the prop bet every single week. Well, you got the 3 or decision, right?
Yeah.
So so props basically the best thing I have left if I want to take someone via decision. Yeah. Yeah. With that being said, my prop bet will be Peyton Talbot to win the fight via decision at plus 350. I like that number. Not a bad one. I think on FanDuel it might even be close to like four something. Yeah, I at 6 earlier in the week I got Peyton Talbot via points at plus 500. So that's dropped quite a bit, but I don't know. That's 2 different sports books between FanDuel and DraftKings. So I like Peyton Talbot via decision as my prop at plus 350 right now. Decision. All right, Rose. I will move this and you're
Can
you
I
ready
say
for the
my
next one?
prop? Oh, actually, no.
No,
I got
yeah, go ahead. It don't
no.
matter.
No, because
Oh,
this is it right here. This is it right here.
okay.
I'm gonna use this one for it because it's the same
Okay.
exact thing. Finish. So you can play it a couple different ways. I'm going to try to squeeze this line just a little bit more. Vyacheslav Borchov by round 2 or round 3 knockout is at plus 500 right now. I really do like that line. I don't think there's any way this fight goes to decision, but I do think that the second round starts. I'm
No, you
big on
can't.
all those methods.
So
And
what's fucking Slava by KO? Because you have to use that.
Slava by KO by itself is a plus
Yeah.
210.
All right.
Yeah,
So
plus
I will
210,
get.
which is still a good line within itself.
I'll give you plus 210, but can't give you KO 2-3. That's a prop bet.
Yeah. I'll take KO here at plus 210. But for me, I'll take that prop bet, the round 2 or 3 KO. I'm definitely gonna be playing that one. So
Yeah. All right. That's the Roses finish prop. So see what I get. Over under. Let's see what we got here. Over under.
he's getting the one I want.
I'm sorry, Rose. That's just kind of what happens. Man,
The ones you keep getting are the ones that I was like ready for.
All right. I am going to go. Man, that's scary. Everything's 2.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the main event, D-Rose. The over under for that right now on DK is 1.5. So I'm gonna go over at minus 145 in the main event. How do you feel about it?
You said over 1.5?
Yeah.
I'm scared. Hey, Jose Delgado and Haidider Emil over 1.5 minus 154.
Well, I have 2.5 for that.
Yeah, if you go on FanDuel, FanDuel has 1.5.
Oh yeah, DK's got 2.5. Well, I mean, I can change it either way, but the one that they have listed is 2.5. At overs plus 114. The unders minus 145.
Yeah. FanDuel has over 1.5. That's what I like for the over under.
At what?
I think that fight goes a decision. So the over 1.5 at minus 154, I'll take that.
Minus 1. Yeah, I'll change it. I'll change it because I can. You said minus 154?
Yeah. On FanDuel right now.
54. All right.
Does that not feel a lot safer than Taporia and Charles? Because honestly, who would be surprised if Charles got a first round finish? You know what I mean? I mean, Charles is
Yeah.
very capable of doing that. So
I guess that same price on DK is minus 175 for the over 1.5.
which
But it's all
hey,
right. It's
still
all right.
playable on DK.
Yeah, all right. And for the last one, what's happening? You got the underdog. Is it the Joker?
Honestly, I've used 2 of the dogs that I like already in my picks, but probably the one that I'm most confident in, Roy Ball. Plus
So it's
108.
Royval again.
Yeah, plus 108 on on the money line right now, and I'm just the most confident in him. Probably gonna have him in a, don't want to say a couple, but probably have in a few bets.
All right, which leaves me with the 3-leg parlay, which I am not ready for really, but I think I can just rock with this one. I think it's going to be a 3-leg parlay, all money line, just to keep it simple. It is going to be Jack Hermanson money line, Peyton Talbot money line, and Brandon Royval money line. A 3-leg parlay ends up being a plus 1296. So $10 on that. Returns $139.65. That's my 3-leg. Not bad, huh?
Not terrible.
And if y'all want to get real cute, those 3 fighters to win by decision is plus 69.78. Just want to throw that out there. I do have that bet.
Sheesh.
And Joker at what I say it was plus 12.69. 69. Nice. All right, D Rose. So that is all for our best bets this week. Just a quick little recap. Our best bets were D Rose's got 3 or decision, and he did pick Brandon Royval via 3 or decision at plus 190. He also got finish where he went Slava KO at plus 210. And then he got the underdog where he did go Brandon Royval 2 times at plus 108. My best bets, I got the prop bet. I went Peyton Talbot via decision at plus 350. You could probably get at a better number multiple places. I got the over under, and I went the over 1.5 in Haidider Emil versus Jose Delgado at minus 154, and also got the 3-leg parlay where I went Brandon Royval, Peyton Talbot, and Jack Hermanson all money line at plus 1269. So that's all of our best bets. All we got left is the parlays, D Rose. Do you have anything that you would like to share with them before I start pulling mine up?
Just I've just been playing around with a few things. Nothing too crazy. I did. I'll share just one that I have on here. I did go Jonathan Denise money line, Tracy Cortez money line, because I know you're a little scared of that one. Slava, Terrence McKinney to start round 2, Jose Delgado, Emil to start round 2, Hermanson versus Rodriguez to start round 2, and with a 30% boost, $10 wins you 78. So I'm looking to basically take that bet and use that for a little pay for the pay-per-view and hope to hit a couple of these big props in here. But yeah, that's just a little something that I played earlier.
All right. Sounds all right. Good luck on that. Hopefully you win it, man. I am not betting that Tracy Cortez Vivi fight. I'm staying away from that one. All right. So I have 4 parlays for you guys. 1 confidence parlay where, this is just everything that I expect to hit on the card. These are usually the ones that we do hit when we win the parlays here on the channel. The second one is the pay for the pay-per-view parlay. $10 to win a little bit more than 100, but it will pay for the pay-per-view, and it's all in the prelims. And we got two $5 parlays, long shots, if you will. So up first, we got the confidence parlay of the week. Let me get this banner off so you guys can see. Confidence parlay of the week is a 7-leg parlay at plus 1483, and it is Janice money line. T-Rex versus Slava Claus to not start round 3. Haidider Emil versus Jose Delgado to start round 2. Jack Hermanson versus Hobo Cop to start round 2. Anato Moicano money line, Brandon Royval money line, and Alexandre Pantosia money line. $10 to win $158.37. Aside from the last leg there, D-Rose, what you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I can't be too mad about you betting Pantosia either. I mean, he's been pretty much a solid lock for the most part. Yes, you are with me with as far as that Jack Hermanson Robocop start round 2 and Emil and Delgado to start round 2. So yeah, we're both pretty heavy on that, which probably means that both fights are going to end in the first round. But yeah, no, a lot of those that you got on there, I like a lot.
All right. So that's the first one, the confidence parlay, the ones that I truly expect to hit. If we don't hit all these legs, we're at least going to hit most of the legs. That's just what happens. So up next is our pay for the pay-per-view parlay. We ain't even doing nothing sketchy. The second leg might be a little bit sketchy, but it's just starting round 2, D-Rose. We don't need nobody to win. We just need the fights on the prelims to start round 2. 5-leg parlay goes like this, plus 1095. It is Janice versus Alvin Hines to start round 2. Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith to start round 2. T-Rex versus Slava Claus to start round 2. Haidider Emil versus Jose Delgado to start round 2. And Jack Hermanson versus Hobo Cop to start round 2. D-Rose, if we get past the third leg, we good, right?
I gotta think.
Dude, that second and third leg, that second and third leg are butthole punkers, dude.
Yeah,
any Terrence McKinney fight going to betting at the start round 2 is brave.
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, but to be fair, he's had a couple go to round 2, so that's what. Again, I'm with you. I do think round 2 starts. So, yeah, no, I'm with you there. But that Nico Price and Jacoby Smith, that one, yikes! That's
I'm telling you, the reason that I bet that is because I'm more worried about the steakhouse bet. You know, someone paying Jacoby Smith saying, "Hey, Jacoby Smith, how much do you make? What do you think Jacoby Smith's contract is, man?"
I would assume probably the 10 and 10 or whatever. 10 to show, 10 to win.
So
Something like
if
that. 20, yeah, or maybe 17, 20. I don't know.
So if he wins, he wins basically like 20 bands, right? And then he has to pay taxes and then, pay his fucking management, coaches, and all that shit. So basically he's leaving with like 10 grand, right? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Or he could basically take that same paycheck, not too much, take his 10 grand, but also maybe, tell all his buddies to maybe put $1,000 on him to win via decision. Because right now it's plus 750, dude. That's basically his fucking paycheck, man. Like, that is absolutely nuts. You would like if I win back $8,500 on $1,000. That is his basically what he's fucking taking home. So imagine him just telling all his buddies, "Hey, bet me to win this fight via decision because I'm just going to go down here and take down Nico Price just like them Magrimbo did all 3 rounds." I'm worried about it, dude. I'm worried about it. I hope he gets him out of there, but I'm worried about it. I do have him bet, KO 1-2, but just to be safe, this fucking start round 2, I'm gonna be standing up like this, watching my TV, like, come on, take him down.
You're not gonna be able to sit down because if you do, that butthole gonna explode and all that shit that you're trying to hold in is just gonna come barreling out.
That even makes sense. All right, That's the
you
big
gonna
one.
be
We got to
tight.
move this one. All right. And I just now told y'all about it. That's the reason why I kind of had the line already ready. The 3-leg parlay, $5 to win $353 plus $69.78 is Jack Hermanson via points, Peyton Talbot via points, and Brandon Royval via points. What's your thoughts, Lee Rose? You know, if Peyton Talbot wins, I think he wins via points.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that one. I'll be honest.
All we need is the home cooking. You know, he's a Reno, Nevada guy. It's Gay Pride Month. You know, Frank Ocean's boyfriend. I'm sure he'll be in the crowd. You know, he's got a lot of money to fucking pay the judges. So,
There
you
you
know,
go.
Peyton Talbot via decision.
There you go. Hey, I'll be rooting for you. I'll be rooting for you.
But you have Felipe Lima bet or no?
Yes.
Okay, well, with that being said, good luck, D-Rose. May the best man win. Moving on to the biggest one. It is a 5-leg parlay plus 15, 358. 5 legs, $5 to win $772. And it goes like this. All on the main card. Peyton Talbot, 3 or decision plus 350. Hanato Moicano, 3 or decision plus 230. Royval, 3 or decision plus 190. Pantosia, 4-5 or decision plus 145. And the fight to start round 2 in the main event. $5 to win $772. Aside from, you know, a couple legs. Do I have a chance, D-Rose? The last one, I know it's a butthole pucker. Start round 2.
Yeah, which I think it starts round 2, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but I just don't think we'd be surprised as well if either guy got a finish in the first round. So
Yeah.
Yo, I didn't even read the whole thing. Yeah, like I said, I'm not crazy about that Talbot, but the rest is solid.
All righty, D-Rose. Well, that's it. That's our picks, predictions. That's the cheese wheel. You gave a parlay that was boosted out. I don't have a picture of it, but you at least told them. So if you missed it, feel free to go back and and then I gave y'all my 4 parlays as well. I did skip that one fast. All right. So anything before we get out of here, man? Or are we going to do the main card watch along fight companion tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
we get to rock with the fight companion tomorrow.
All right. Well, we will see you guys tomorrow around 10 p.m. East Coast time for the main card fight companion. So if you guys ain't got nothing to do, come by, watch the fights with us, you know, chat with us, let us know what you're thinking of the fights in the chat, and we'll be there giving you our live reactions and all that. So with that being said, we appreciate you guys for stopping by here, hanging out with us here tonight. If you're betting your hard-earned money on these fights, remember, at the end of the day, it's a fist fight, and anything can happen. So you see what I'm betting here, $5, $10 here and there. You know, I can afford to lose it. It's like $30. Yeah, I'll be okay at the end of the day. So with that being said, appreciate you guys for stopping by. Don't be betting more than you can afford to lose on these fights, that's for sure. But my name is Matt, D-Rose on that side of the screen. This was Change the Cheddar right here on the Golden Octagon, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night for the watch along fight companion. Peace.